are you?
Good, man. I was a little worried. I didn't see it. I was like, oh, man, where is it? I've
Oh
been really
no,
putting it
man.
in.
No, you're just
What
in
are you
time.
doing,
You're just in time. No,
man?
it's been great to have the conversations with you and finally get you on here.
Yeah, I love your content, man. It's
Thank you,
down
man.
to earth and good. I
For
think
sure.
a lot of people need to see this stuff,
Yeah, for
and
sure.
it's humble too. You're humble about it. That's what I like.
Thank you, brother. Yeah, I mean, that's the whole goal, bringing people together instead of separating us um, on prepared mentality. I mean, that's the goal for us,
Yeah,
and that vision to, still have people learn something while we bring everybody together to learn something and to protect themselves, to be
absolutely.
safe, be self-sufficient in different ways. But yeah, man, Warrior Tribe Tactical, man, you guys are doing some great things.
Yeah,
Um,
man. We're pretty young still, but yeah, we're growing. We're getting there.
yeah, you
Trying
guys
to get the
just
word
opened up.
out.
You guys just opened up a store, right?
Yeah. So I have a business partner,
All right.
and so he's a gunsmith. I'm a trainer, and let's put it all together, try to be a one-stop deal.
That's awesome. Yeah,
So
yeah, man, I got to get down there to
yeah,
North
man.
Carolina. Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
come out to the range, man.
Yeah,
Let's have
for sure.
fun. Get some training
Um,
in.
so we're going to be talking about situational awareness and preparations with, our family, with ourselves. So first off, what's your take on general situational awareness?
So it's a tough one, right? Because it's been diluted so much with a lot of stuff that gets thrown in. You need this. You got to
Mhm.
understand this. I tend to break it down into three things. Your the mental side of
Mhm.
it, physical and spiritual, right? So the mental side of it, paying attention, being in the moment, the now, not in that 45-degree disease,
Yeah.
physically, if you're taking care of yourself, that's that's going to help your cognitive skills,
Mhm.
understanding what you're seeing quicker, reactionary. And then spiritually, you know, if you believe in that higher power, you have more sense of self-worth and, you
Yeah.
know, care for others, I
Right.
think.
Right. For sure. Yeah. You hit a good point with, the spiritual part of it. That's self-care at the end of the day. And if we can get to our individual senses where we're taking care of ourselves, then we can take care of others around us that we care about and love. Um,
Absolutely.
and so, when we look at situational awareness, it's always um, a panic or your stress or this big event that has to happen so you can take your attention off of the disease.
Right, right.
Uh, and so we want to look at it not like from that perspective, but just everyday um, life. Every day you're doing something to enhance your situational awareness. And so it can be a lifestyle instead of a burden and a stressor, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you think and look at nowadays with there's a lot of negative outlets out there. The news is negative, right? It's just
Mhm.
negative, negative. But you see these videos of kids getting scooped up in the middle of everyone.
Yeah,
If grown-ups, adults, were just paying attention,
yeah.
there's help right there. You
Hmm.
know, I think that's what annoys me the most about why we need to train this when this should be pretty much a natural ability.
Right,
We used to have it. But
right.
think back to the caveman days. We've all heard this.
Yeah.
Those people had to be on guard that cave entrance because
Hmm.
things wanted to eat them, right?
Hmm.
So we've lost that. And I always say, like, look at your dog if you have a dog.
Right.
You make a noise, he's up, ready to go.
Hmm.
We're like, oh,
For
geez,
sure.
what was that sound? What's out there? We're not aware of anything
Hmm.
anymore. And
Hmm.
we need to get back to that where we
Hmm.
pay attention to others and we pay attention to ourselves and what we're
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah.
But that just makes for a safer community, I think.
Yeah. No, that's good. I mean, what you and others are doing, making people aware, training people, giving them the skills and the knowledge to protect themselves and defend others is something that's needed. especially now in these times, because everything is so, uh, unfortunately, you don't know what could happen from day to day. And a lot of people are afraid of the unknown. The unknown causes a lot of fear, a lot of
Right.
anxiety, a lot of stress. Uh, and so does protecting and defending themselves. It causes a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress, especially
Yeah.
when you get into firearms. I'm sure you've had, your times where people were fearful of
Right.
handling,
Absolutely.
fearful of defending themselves, uh, not knowing what to expect from a class. So talk a little bit about that. When people are in that state of fearfulness, um, but they want to protect themselves, but this is like their first time entering, the world of firearms.
Right. So we start off easy. So, the days of that instructor that I went through in the
Hmm.
military,
Yeah.
just barking at you, making you more nervous, that's gone, and it's more of I wouldn't say a totally relaxed environment because safety's, number one, but we're looking at the overall uh, mental effects of how we train because it's a terrible experience. They're never touching that gun again.
Right.
And once we ease them in, a lot of dry fire at first, get them used to the gun, handling it. Then we
Hmm.
start slow, and get them worked up with that gun and constantly reminding them why they're there and what they're learning that tool for.
Hmm.
It's to protect what you love.
Yeah.
I always tell them, I'd rather have you breathing than the bad guy at the end.
Yeah.
So we have to train realistically. No
Yeah.
more of this flat range stuff because
Hmm.
gunfights are clumsy
Yeah.
and out of control, chaotic.
Hmm.
And, so we work up pretty slow. It's usually 2 days.
That's good. Yeah, I mean, fighting and training that way, uh, in your practice time can only help, when real scenarios happen. Um, just like you, me, I was in the military, army, having that stress
Man,
level,
good man.
yeah, having that stress level of, knowing what to do in that uncertain time, not knowing what's over on the other side of the hill,
Right.
not sure what's going to happen as far as you proceeding with other people around you, um, going to attack. I mean, those are key things that a lot of civilians don't go through every day, right?
Right.
Uh, so just getting that training.
Yeah. And think about it from a training perspective going overseas. Everything you did was haywire when it actually happened because
Right.
nothing's rehearsed the same.
Yeah.
Humans do different things.
Hmm.
Um, so, situational awareness goes into our OODA loop,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And being able to see that threat and react to that threat, having made a decision in
Hmm.
between quickly, that's worth its weight in gold.
Hmm.
If you can get your mind wrapped around the situation fast,
Yeah.
understand what's happening, and then
Yeah.
make a decision and go with it.
Hmm.
That whole second guessing thing, it's got to go.
Yeah, for
In
sure.
situational awareness, we got to start listening to our guts more.
Hmm.
I don't think the nowadays people are doing that.
Hmm.
You can sense what's happening.
Right.
You feel it before it goes,
Yeah.
and we got to pay more attention to our senses,
Right.
flat out.
Yeah. Uh, Especially when we are going around big crowds, large gatherings, even on the highway, on the roads. I mean, we're seeing, a bunch of crazy events happening on roads and accidents and people
Yeah,
getting out of their car and fighting and coming up to windows. And I mean, it's just a different world altogether, within the past few years,
yeah.
that people's anger level has risen tremendously,
Yeah.
and you just don't know what people are thinking nowadays. Um, you know,
I mean, look, yeah, you hit it on the head with like this road rage stuff. I
hmm.
remember, yeah, you heard of a couple fights here and there.
Yeah,
Now people are getting,
yeah,
shot up over what?
yeah,
Cooler heads prevail,
hmm,
and it takes it. You're not a big man stopping the car and
hmm,
getting in a fight. What good is that?
right,
You can move on, move on.
yeah, yeah,
You get to breathe. You get to keep
right,
breathing.
yeah.
But yeah,
That's
it's
definitely a good point. Moving on and not disrupting and getting into a conflict just to get into a conflict, right?
Mhm.
The easiest
Yeah,
way to get out of a conflict is to ignore the conflict and try to, get out alive or have your peace some other where. And because you really want to think about what you're doing before you do it. Uh,
right,
and,
right,
we're seeing a lot of people just go at it, at the drop of a dime and not think about the consequences behind their actions when they are doing something like that.
right.
You know?
And so, you know, and it's kind of in this world that sense of right and wrong. I
Mm.
mean, where is that?
Yeah.
Or risk versus reward. You
Mm.
know,
Yeah. Yeah.
the thought for me thinking, hey, if I beat someone up because I'm mad,
Hmm.
going to jail, I mean, that's a no go.
Right.
It's a no
Right.
go.
For sure.
You know,
For
I don't
sure.
know.
What's your take on people being the gray man in larger crowds or when they go into the larger cities or even go into the grocery store? What's your take on that?
Yeah, so I mean, I carry everywhere I go if
Hmm.
it's legal. North Carolina, you can carry pretty much anywhere.
Right.
But yeah, I'm all about not showing off what I have, you
Yeah.
know, what my intentions are. I mean, I feel like, I am a protector. You carry something, you're a protector of
Hmm.
yourself or others if they need it. But blending in, yeah, absolutely. Now, I look a little different when I leave the training range,
Right.
I mean, you could be like that guy,
Yeah. Yeah.
he's definitely a gun dude. But
Hmm.
yeah, everyday life, I definitely believe in blending in and
Hmm.
just not being loud, not being, the guy that is going to draw that attention.
Right.
You can
Right.
do more good coming from the back,
Yeah.
than you can being seen up front.
For sure. That's good. I mean, that's always the go-to. You never want to be uh, or broadcasting yourself in a way that others can look at you like, okay, I know what this guy's about.
Right,
Um,
right.
and so everything you said, I mean, I agree with. And how do you go about being the grand man and protecting yourself and protecting your family when, your family is with you or if you have kids? What's that scenario like? What goes through your head when you're doing that?
Yeah, so for me, and probably for you too, you hear that if you heard that ruckus, gunfire, you want to run and go
Hmm.
take care of the bad guy.
Right.
Now with a family, it's I'm paying attention to exits. I'm playing that game.
Hmm.
Uh, I'm strategizing every few feet, right? I'm taking a look at people, trying to find threat indicators,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna find exits because my goal would be to first remove my family,
Hmm.
remove them to safety, have them call 911,
Hmm.
explain what I'm wearing,
Right.
and if need be, go and help,
Yeah.
right? Even if you're treating the wounded or something like that, or if you have the ability to take a bad guy out,
Hmm.
okay. I mean, that's not the goal when you go out with a gun, but you
Right.
know, if the scenario were that, yeah, I think number one is get the family moved and protected, and
Hmm.
then handle whatever you know you can handle. I mean, you
Hmm.
don't want to go into a gunfight outgunned, outnumbered, because then you're just
Right.
another casualty.
Right.
But being able to assess quickly and move accordingly, I think
That's
is
good.
number one.
Yeah, for sure. What do you think about introducing firearms to your family? How does that scenario work? Uh,
It's got to be slow. It's got to be
mhm.
slow, especially if they've never done it before.
Right.
Like my daughter, she's not old enough to even go
Right.
near one right now. But like with my wife, yeah, start slow because and guys like us again,
Hmm.
we know what we want to do. We know where we want them. But
Hmm.
if you overwhelm and push, it's just going to turn them off.
Yeah.
And you want a well trained team
Hmm.
in your household, right? So
Yeah.
it's got to be fun.
Yeah.
You got to make it fun and realistic. You
Right.
know, have a total um, understanding of what that thing can do. You
Hmm.
know,
Hmm.
and how to maneuver it, how to work it,
Yeah. Yeah.
and what scenario it is. So for me, like in the household, it's it's important that you also have a plan
Hmm.
in the household for situations. Because if you gotta go check a bump in the night, and then all of a sudden there's panic, like,
Yeah.
oh my God, I don't know where my family is. So now you can't, you gotta be, take that extra second on a shot on a bad guy.
Right.
That could be bad. So if you have a plan, you know exactly where they are, man, you're free to go hot if you have to.
Hmm. Yeah.
I kind of went off a
Having,
little bit on that one, but
yeah. I mean, but no, you make good points. Having that second person, whether that be your wife or your children when they get older, having multiple people know what to do, when to do it, how to do it, in a home invasion or if you're out in public, or even in traffic, uh, can definitely multiply your chances of one surviving and getting out of there alive, and everybody having that training definitely helps
right.
in scenarios. So it can only benefit us at the end of the day, uh, bringing
And
in
if you look at
multiple people. Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and if you look at home invasion now, it's not one guy.
right. Yeah.
It's multiple
Hmm.
people now coming into your house, old,
Yeah.
and so you have to be ready. And
Hmm.
your family with a firearm that knows how to use it, that's just a force multiplier. Like you said,
Hmm.
it's beneficial overall.
Yeah. Yeah. And we're in a society where everybody's looking at their phones nowadays. Walking
Mm.
across the street, looking at their phone. They're in the store shopping, looking at their phone. Um, what advice would you give people to not only have their attention on, what's going on their screen, but, what's going on around them. So what's the transition between that? Because I know that's how we're living in this society,
Yeah,
and it's
Eh,
so hard not to, right?
yeah. We have so much candy on that phone, right?
Hmm.
It's
Yeah,
and there's 700 ways to communicate now on that device. You're
right,
constantly ding, 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 right?
right.
You got. I try to tell people you gotta live in the now.
Hmm.
And at my training, if you're carrying, even if you're not carrying, but you want to be, aware of stuff,
Yeah.
you got to be in the now. You got to discipline yourself enough
Hmm.
that if you're in your house, look at your phone, fine. If
Hmm.
you feel safe, doors are locked, all that stuff, look at your phone. But when you're out in the world, you got to be in the now. Because it's too easy to find indicators once you watch people a little bit.
Hmm.
People watch. That's a good game to play. Just people watch,
Yeah.
and you'll start picking up indicators of, I bet you this guy's going to do this, and boom, they will.
Hmm.
But yeah, so be in the now
Yeah.
is really what I can say, and pay attention.
Yeah.
It's there's a lot of fun out there looking at the world. you know,
Sure.
we're missing out on too much.
Yeah, I mean, you brought up a key thing I was going to mention is people watching, watching other people's reactions, knowing what type of stances they're taking,
Mhm.
knowing what type of aggression, that they're uh, giving you, um, where eye contact, all that stuff is key things that we can be aware of when we're out there, um, trying to have situational awareness, because you just never know who's who.
Right.
Um, and so with all that, what's your take on, being prepared as far as, um, grid down situations, as far as having enough food, water, um, electricity goes out, there's not enough food at the stores. What's your take on that?
Yeah, so I'm a big firm believer in you gotta be self-sufficient.
Hmm.
You gotta have the means to be self-sufficient, which means you better learn some skills, some bushcraft skills, simple things, how to start a fire. That's kept humans alive for a long, long time.
Hmm.
But we have all sorts of great products that you can just store for
Yeah,
years,
yeah,
and that would keep your family alive. So, do a measurement of your family. How much, for me, I want everyone in my family to have at least 6 months worth of food in a big problem,
hmm,
because everyone I hear down here anyway,
yeah,
man, I'll just go out and hunt. Well, that's everyone's idea, dude. you know, and it's gonna be real dangerous in the woods.
Yeah.
So, and in the cities, so 6 months of food, have sources to purify water. You got it. If you don't live near a stream or anything like that, if you want to stay put, have a supply of water.
Right.
And then medical. We overlook medical a lot, especially in the tooth department, right? Um, and then I really believe community.
Yeah.
People are an asset.
Yeah.
And we were talking force multipliers.
Right.
So, man, I want nurses. I want
Yeah.
kid doctors, dentists,
Hmm.
people who can build and fix things. And
Right.
then, my grunts. I want my grunts out there,
For sure.
Uh, but community is essential.
Hmm.
Got to be careful. It's hard to pick people.
Yeah.
This guy's
Yeah.
got it. Go off, or you
Yeah.
know, a jealous person can't
Right.
have that.
Now,
So
now expand on the dentistry part, the tooth. You brought that up. Expand a little bit more on how you're preparing for that scenario.
yeah, so I mean, I got quick fixes in my med kit for a cavity or something. It would hold for a couple months,
Right.
but you know, a tooth will put you down.
Yeah.
And, people didn't live long for a reason in the 1800s. They had
Hmm.
rotten teeth, whatever. I mean,
Hmm.
that's an infection waiting to happen. So can't eat, can't
Yeah.
do much with a sore
Hmm.
face. But teeth, they will put you down. So I find it very important to be able to take that dental care.
Yeah.
I'm always in constant search for prepared dentist that wants to be on the team. Bring your
Hard to
old school
find,
tools.
man. Right.
They are. They are.
Yeah. So, what are some of the classes that you guys give as far as, first timers and somebody just looking to get right into it?
Yeah. So we start out pistol and rifle course or carbine, um, and that's us from the ground up, and really from novice to a professional uh, sharpshooter marksman can
Mhm.
come and take this class. Like even for me, I just took a course with Tony Cowden not too long ago, a long range course.
Right.
And if you learn one thing, I mean, it's worth it.
Right.
So, and I always constantly learn from my students, even
Hmm.
if it's just how to instruct better. But we bring them from the ground up. We work on marksmanship, movement, speed and accuracy, identifying a problem that needs to be taken care of, understanding time and space,
Right.
distance between people. I see a lot of times, even if you just go to Lowe's, we're talking about people watching.
Yeah.
There are so many people that let people into a dangerous range without giving them a look. They're like, I know you're
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Don't, you know? Uh, but we just let people right up on us.
Mm-hmm.
And and then an important course, I think, if you're going to carry, if you're going to be, a good citizen and
Yeah.
protect, you got to have a stop the bleed course, a first aid course. So we do that too.
Expand on that one because that's very important. That
Yeah.
stop the bleed, medical, how to put on tourniquet. What do you
Yeah.
guys
So
instruct?
as you know, like Ranger Battalion, they have
Mhm.
a zero blood loss death right now when we were still overseas because
Yeah.
they're so good at packing wounds
Right.
and tourniquets. Now tourniquets have changed the battlefield. We
Yeah.
know that.
A lot.
Civilians need to be jumping on this. Police need to really jump on this. There's still police units that aren't carrying tourniquets.
Right.
So we want to teach packing wounds, treat using a tourniquet, stopping the bleeding,
Yeah.
sucking chest wounds, and that's anything from a car accident to a shooting.
Yeah.
So you got to be versatile if you're going to be a prepared person.
Yeah. Valuable tools uh, that anybody can learn and train for. Uh, and it just adds to your closet, it adds
Yeah,
to your kit. Anything that you can get up here, prepared mentality, right?
yeah,
Just add it, you can learn, we can all learn from somebody, go to courses, get some training, get some medical training, get that firearms training. get, awareness training. All of that combined can only help us at the end of the day for these scenarios that are unknown today, because there's all types of things that are going on right now. Uh, we can go on for days to name them, but
Yeah.
just these things are important, for ourselves, for our families, um, and really just being prepared and staying ready for the fight at any time. Um, but man, Adam, I want to thank you for being
Hey,
on
man.
the talk, man. And Warrior Tribe Tactical. Make sure you guys go and like his page on Instagram. You guys also have a YouTube. Go and like that. Subscribe to that YouTube page. But yeah, it was great having you on, and we're definitely gonna do this again.
Yeah,
Maybe
absolutely.
with multiple people next time. We get some more opinions in here, and
Yeah.
work it out. But
Yeah, I
yeah,
appreciate it, man.
yeah, thank you guys for coming in the live chat. I see all you guys. Strength and honor to you. So be safe, be healthy, stay blessed. It's Prepare Mentality, Warrior Tribe Tactical. We're out.